Hey there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. Today, I am going to be taking a look at Judas Priest, Angel of Retribution. Alright, so let me start off by saying when Judas Priest had their big heyday in the late 70s, early 80s, that big explosion of new wave British heavy metal. I wasn't really into that. It actually took a long time. That was considered completely outdated and old and ick when I got to it. It was way past its prime. I came to that whole entire movement honestly like a solid decade too late. Grunge was already mainstream at that point by the time I discovered that stuff. Um, So I really didn't get into Judas Priest at all until I was an adult, and I picked up this album because of my daughter. Actually, video came on. It was the big return of Judas Priest. Big blah 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 blah. They started playing the off here for Revolution. My daughter just loved it right away. I'm like, how Judas Priest. I'll go pick up the album. What's the worst that happens? Great. Great album. Oh, great album. I'm so happy I picked it up. So, let's get into it. 2004, this was released. As I already mentioned, it saw the return of Rob Halford. I don't believe it was the entire original band. I'd have to double check on that. But, they really heavy. And not just heavy, they incorporated new modern recording techniques and stuff like that in there, so it was deep and heavy. Like you could feel a real low end. So the album opens up with Judas Rising. It's got this great little build up to it. It's kind of this nice little fade in. It's a little long, probably for the average listener. I think the timing on it was just perfect. This great little keyboard riff followed by, the classic big, you can hear it, man, the big Pete Townsend style, whoa, with the windmills on some of these chords. Or, the typical metal wrist flick. That's it, just the flick of the wrist, the sneer on the face. Just and then there's that scream, that Rob Halford scream that lets you know you are into this album. Oh my God, just amazing. And I love that they multi-track on his screams and he harmonizes. So it's a scream, but it's not a scream. It's actually like a sung scream, a very well overly projected scream. But Judas Rising opens this album perfectly. You cannot open an album with a better song on here. This was designed great. Then you get to Deal with the Devil. Deal with the Devil works because it's sandwiched between Judas's Rising and Revolution, which is the next track. It's a really cool tune. It's kind of a little fun, but it's a filler. For Judas Priest, it's definitely a kind of a filler, which is why they would sandwich it in where they did. And then, it's not a bad tune the whole way around. I enjoy it. It's just only when the album's playing through. It's not something I listen to on its own. After that, we go into Revolution. That opening riff, man, that oh man. And then the drums kick in. And then you got that whole chorus, man. And it's not even done heavy. It's just that here comes a revolution. Time for retribution. And I just love it. And then when you get towards the end of the song where they're doing that and they're repeating it over and over, and you hear it amp it up and you hear that music, and then all of a sudden Rob just the way that he does, man. Oh, musical orgasm. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, that is followed up with Worth Fighting For. So yeah, Revolution into Worth Fighting For. Lyrically, it kind of, has that little vibe, that continuation, which is kind of cool. It's kind of nice. Um, Worth Fighting, Worth Fighting For is a little bit of a slower track. It's actually interesting. Um, if you ever wonder what it would be for Rob Halford to front AC/DC, yeah, that's how I hear Worth Fighting For. It reminds me very much of songs probably off the Stiff Upper Lip album, I want to say, a little bit, yeah. It's got that kind of AC/DC bluesy hook to it. After that, we go to Demonizer. Demonizer is kind of cliche Judas Priest, the best type of cliche Judas Priest, but cliche Judas Priest all the same. It is really fast, really screamy, really. And when I say screamy, I don't mean like screamo screamy. I mean actually sung screamy, like really high pitch wails and howls, and just feats of vocalized ecstasy. It's the best way to put it. Now we get into Wheels of Fire. I like Wheels of Fire. Wheels of Fire is pretty cool. It's still at the same time, it's a little bit cliche, but it's a good cliche. It's what you want to hear. It's what you expect. At this point, we get a nice change of pace. Now, normally I'm not a fan of power ballads or arena ballads or anything like that. There are some bands that definitely do exceptions to this. And metal bands that use the song Angel always seem to get it just right, Like the Scorpions Send Me an Angel off of Crazy World. If you've seen my review, I love it. Rammstein has a song called Angel, so just there's fantastic song, absolutely gorgeous. And then you've got Angel on this album, and Angel is just this beautiful song, absolutely magical. I don't know who inspired the lyrics for Angel, but there was definitely some love there. I don't remember the name of Rob's partners. I know he's had two of them that were really popular. I was watching an interview. I don't remember the name of either of them because, once again, I've never been a huge Judas Priest fan, so I've never followed that much degree. So whichever one of the partners it was that inspired that, kudos to them. So after the song Angel, we get into Hell Rider, because, you got to have that whole, we did something really nice and pretty and all, ooh, Angel, so let's go Satan again. Metal! Metal! All right. My only complaint with Hell Rider is it is very similar to Judas's Rising. Very, very, very similar. Crazy, kind of similar. To the point where I think I actually kind of like Hell Rider a smidge more than I do Judas's Rising, but they're very, very similar. After that, we go on to Eulogy. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. It's a great track. I like it on this album. It's kind of just, I don't want to say it's a place filler. It doesn't feel like that's the right word, because it's a great track on its own. I love everything about it, but it's not the type of track I would have expected on a Judas Priest album. But it doesn't seem out of place at all. Like, it perfectly works in there. And then the album finishes with this great song. This monstrous epic, and I love an epic. And ending an album on a great monstrous epic, and monstrous is the perfect word here. It is the perfect way to end the album as far as I'm concerned. And the song is Loch Ness. That's right. And it's this giant ode to the Loch Ness monster. I hate to say it, that it is. It's this giant metal ode, but it's this beautiful, dark, deep, mysterious, grabs you and holds you ode to the Loch Ness monster. It is. It's fantastic too. I absolutely love it. It's just so dark and heavy, and the vocals on it. You can never go wrong with Rob Halford on the vocals, right? It's always great. Always a good time. Whole way around, this is really a fantastic album. It is, I mean, at this point, it's not even modern Priest anymore. I'd like to say it's modern Judas Priest. It's not. This album's from 2004, so it's been around a while. It's not the same as the stuff that was released, 2 decades before. This has grown up. This has evolved. This is something classic, yet new. I love this album. Fantastic album. I still listen to it regularly. I love to throw it into the CD player every so often and just crank it up. And well, I've been listening to it to do this review, prepping myself, like Revolution. That one comes on. I've been listening to it on my headphones a lot while I've been out walking for my job. And that one just comes on, man. I just, seriously, Revolution, that bass line, man. And then the guitar is over top. It's perfect. It really is. So anyways, yeah, I highly recommend this one. Great album. That's it. Until next time. Peace, love, take care, leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe, that way you get notifications, and I don't usually do this, but hey, there's a Patreon link down below.